What's up guys, welcome back to the Tacoma Beast channel where it's all about the taco. On today's video, we're gonna be doing a build walk around Billy's truck known as the Green Reaper 3 on Instagram. How's it going, Billy?
Man, this is awesome. I'm super excited to tell you guys about my truck. And you can find me on Instagram, the Green Reaper 3, and this is my truck.
All right, Billy, the first question I wanted to ask you before we go into depth with all the accessories, parts that have gone on this build. Why did you build this thing?
So, believe it or not, I have a passion for this truck. I did everything I could to have a first gen, 95 and a half. I could barely afford to lift it, but I did whatever I could to get to that point. And I always swore when I had the ability to build something I wanted, I had a vision and I knew what I wanted it to look like. I knew where I wanted it to be. And I just 100% said, when I can do it, I'm gonna build it. And I did.
So is this how you envisioned it back then?
This is what I wanted. You know, of course we've added a few, updated modern mods. Back when I was, 16, they didn't have some of the stuff they did now. So there's been a lot of changes and stuff, but I really feel that, we've gotten it to the point where I wanted it and then amplified that.
And what do you use this truck for? What is the main purpose of this build?
Solely, I drive it once a month, really just to keep it going, but I use it specifically to raise money for children's charities, veterans, and first responders. It's a big thing for me. It's something we're passionate about. I created a nonprofit off of it, and that's what we use it for. It's not for off-roading, it's not for any of the stuff. I know it has the ability to do some of those things, but it's mainly to raise money for these kids. It's 100% the best thing you could do or feel when you pull up in something like this at a hospital and there's kids waiting to see it, to jump in it, to play with it, to get toys from us. Because that's what we do. We fill their whole toy bin that they have there. So they each get toys, and even the ones that can't come down, we bring toys up to them, and we FaceTime with them, and we bring pictures of the truck up and the other vehicles we bring. So 100% about charity.
So how is it that you were able to raise this money and help the kids? How is it that you do that with the truck?
So by the help of a lot of local sponsors, Butler Tire, Southern Off-Road, I really team with these guys that knew I had a passion for it, and they care about the same thing. They want to help as many people as they can. And we started doing truck events. We started doing shows. And it was one of those that I was like, is anybody going to show up? Is it going to be something that we're going to raise enough money for these kids? I don't want to let them down. And it's bigger and better every year. People just come from other states. They come from other towns, and it's amazing. And that's how we raise that money. We actually do a lot of raffles. A lot of these companies that, give me product or, help us with product on this vehicle actually send us product to raffle off, because they're doing the same thing. They want to go, let me give you this product so you can raffle it, use the money towards the kids. And I feel like, it's a good cause, and everybody loves it.
That's awesome that you're doing that, man. I've seen some of those kids' smiles, and you've actually got a Nintendo in there yourself, right? Do they get a chance to play
Absolutely.
in it?
We hook it up for them, and it's fully functional, and they love it. It's a retro Nintendo. It's what I grew up with.
That's awesome that you're doing that, man. Keep killing it. That's really cool. So Billy, up until this point, how much money have you been able to raise from this build and doing those events and getting those people to come and check it out?
I would say over the course of a couple years, we're getting close to 70, 80 grand-ish, let's say, just from donations, from products, from everything. And we've been able to help countless amounts of families around the holiday times. We sponsor families, we donate money to them and take care of their Christmas for them. And then the Children's Hospital, so we work directly with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and we fill their toy room for their milestones when they beat cancer, when they, make it out of the hospital and they're going home, they get a prize. And we donate like Xboxes, we do whatever we can, so when they go home, they've got something like a prize that they achieved it.
How is it that the charity that you're donating this money to help the kids with your donation?
I think more or less it's again, they're putting us in touch with the kids, but at the hospital they do like a truck show day where they let us bring like 3 or 4 trucks down or Jeeps or vehicles or anything like that. And we park them up front, and then they let whoever can come out of the room come down and get in the vehicles. We bring the toys at that point too. So we let them pick out some toys while they're there. They usually pick one for their brother or sister. Ultimately it's kind of, that's the bulk of what we do, but we also help veterans and first responders. So we'll donate to a first responder's family, maybe one that they lost their husband or wife that was a first responder, or a veteran that is struggling, or whatever the case is. And that's ultimately how they help us, and we help them, and it kind of is a joint process.
All right, man, that's honestly an awesome story. Let's jump into the truck and everything that's been done to it. I mean, let's start off with the wheels and tires. What are you rocking for wheels and tires?
Wheels and tires, I've got 26x16s, custom made from 4G Auto. That was from Butler Tire. So they set me up with my contact. They got me set up with the company, and they custom built the wheels the way I wanted. And I did a 44 1950 bogger. I wanted to do something that nobody else had done on a 3rd gen, so we went wild, and we went with a big tire, a big wheel, and made it that outlandish truck that kids love.
Those wheels are sweet, man. I know that the center cap,
floating.
It just stays floating, so you're able to see the logo always on point. What axles do you have on the truck right now?
So on the front, I've got an FJ80 Land Cruiser axle, which is actually one of Toyota's strongest built axles, one of them. Now, we chose that axle because I could still keep my speed sensors, my ABS. I don't have the Christmas tree on my dash, and it just made sense. It was perfect. It fit the build we wanted. I didn't need ton axles. I'm not using it for the purpose of off-roading. It was more for show, and they're just awesome. We came up with a great idea.
So talking about the axles, I know you also did a 4x4 conversion on this thing, because this used to be a 2-wheel drive, right?
Yeah, correct. So we ended up converting it over and did twin sticks in cab. So it is fully functional. You can control the front, you can control the rear. It's super cool. I know that sounds silly, and the fact that we use it for show, but we had to do it. It was one of those things that we could use it if we wanted to, but it just made sense for the build. It looks awesome. It completes it.
Do you have a transfer case on this thing?
Yes, I have a dual transfer case for my twin sticks. So that's basically part of that whole 4-wheel drive system. I have a dual transfer case on there.
All right, so you got these 2 axles that are not original. How were you able to link all of that with the suspension system? I know that it's linked. How are you guys able to do that?
So what we did is the rear we had custom built. It's a trail gear 9-inch. And then we basically had custom kings made for the length we needed. I came to Southern Off-Road and I said, I need to be at this height to run these tires. Can we make it happen? And they did. They figured out my angles. I have no issues or problems. It runs great.
Awesome, and the truck looks great. It looks leveled, like perfectly leveled.
Yeah.
All right, man, so let's talk about armor. What do you have for the front bumper?
All Fab 4s, man. I've got front, rear bumpers, and of course the doors. I've always run Fab 4s. I think I was one of the first to run that Vengeance bumper back in 2016. And as soon as I did, it hit the ground running. It was like something that nobody had ever seen. And Greg, I think, did a great job with these bumpers. He made them aggressive, and it's like when people see it, they just go, man, that is so cool.
What about those step bars? Are they also from Fab 4s?
So I actually have been with n-fab from day one as well. n-fab has always taken care of me. Anytime I need a set of steps, no question. Anytime I hold an event, no question. They send me whatever I need. So I've always been loyal to them, and I've always stuck with n-fab.
Nice, man. I also see you have a roof rack up there. Where's that from?
I do. So CBI and Prinsu were kind enough to send me this to see how I liked it, and put it on top of just a massively tall truck. So it's something, it's not like an overland build, but it was cool. I feel like it really completes it and makes it that beefy looking truck.
Definitely adds on to it, man. That roof rack alone, putting it on a stock truck, I don't know what it is about it. It just transforms the vehicle.
It does.
And it definitely it added on to yours. Now I see that you have an emergency tire back there in your bed. How were you able, where did you get that idea? That is so original.
So I actually took a second gen n-fab spare tire carrier and I kind of modified it to fit. And I just knew that if there was ever an issue with this big of a tire, I'm stuck. There's nothing I can do. So I had to have the option to be able to get myself somewhere if I was on the highway or whatever it was. I had to have that option. And I don't know, I think it looks super cool in the back.
Let's talk about these doors, the trail doors that Fab Force just came out with. How are you liking them so far?
Love them. I drove them home yesterday. It's spacier, it's roomier, it's like the airflow is crazy. Everything is just fantastic, man. It's such a cool idea, and it's something that nobody's ever seen. I mean, we've all seen Jeep doors, but none of them look like this. This was brilliant. This was a cool idea, and it's fun, especially in the summertime around here. It's gonna be fantastic.
Dude, they match so well with the truck. Let's talk about your fenders. I know that those are aftermarket. What are you rocking for the fenders?
Bushwhacker. So I also found those way back in 2016, and from that point on, I threw them on the truck, and people just took to it. It was something that I feel just completed that look, you know, with the wide tire, the beefy look. It had to go on this truck.
Nice, man. I also see that you're rocking some lights.
I have lights everywhere.
You have lights everywhere. Let's talk about your light setup. Up in the front bumper, what are you rocking for the light bar?
So I have rigid everywhere, and I've always been a fan of rigid stuff. I feel like it's a great product, it's great quality, and you can't go wrong. It seems like it's just a good quality product.
We went over the lights on your bumper. What about those headlights, man? Why is it that they say Hulk on them?
Super custom, man. So I think people are confused on why it's called the Hulk. Everybody says the Hulk's green and, you know, all that stuff. So I built this truck, and when people would see it, they're like, man, it's so big and beefy. It's like the Hulk. It's like, it's just got that stance. It's muscular, it's big, it's, you know, it gives that appearance. So, you know, it's more the idea of the Hulk. It's like, you know, that big, just beefy looking truck. And you know, so everything I've done with the truck, we've really kind of geared around it being the Hulk truck, you know, and so we had the headlights custom done. They were custom made. You know, we designed them to match the truck. We put a little Hulk logo in there and everything like that, and they're super cool, man. They do a great job.
That's awesome, man. I see that you also have the words Hulk on the grill. Who made that grill for you?
So DB Customs, again, veteran owned. I've loved this guy from day one, and the coolest thing about him is back in 2016 when I first saw his grills, I told him, I said, hey man, I'm gonna make you big. I wanna promote you. I love your work. I have a vision for this truck. Send me a grill. Don't want it for free. Send me the grill, and I'm gonna blow this thing up. And it's been news ever since. He makes some of the best grills.
Those things are solid.
Man, his work is impeccable. I mean, he is just fantastic.
Now let's go inside and check out your interior mods. I know you have an Alpine sound system on there. Tell me a little bit about that.
So again, another local group, Cartoons, they reached out to me and they're like, what can we do to be a part of this? And we know you love charities. We know you do charity events. What can we do? And so we dropped the truck off. They built a complete custom box in the back, amps, all Alpine speakers, head to toe, did a Halo 9 head unit on there, and it bangs, man. It's so good. And it's so custom and it looks great. You can't even tell it's in there until you get in there and kind of move the seats around.
Now, like I mentioned before, I know that thing is linked directly to a Nintendo. Is it the Nintendo 64?
No, it's the NES, the very first one made. Yeah, so they took out the QI charging port and they used that, and then they hooked an HDMI to the back of the monitor, the Halo 9. And so it seamlessly works. You can plug in remotes, you can turn it on and off, and it's fantastic. And it goes through my sound system. It's awesome.
Dude, so the kids get up on this truck and they're having they don't want to get down from this thing. It's something that they're never going to forget.
Ever. And that's the point. You know, we want it to be something that they were playing with on Tuesday and they see it on Thursday, you know, in real life.
That's awesome, man. It's kind of like when you're growing up and you're playing with your Hot Wheels. You're always picturing, like, at least for myself, growing up, I always wanted to have a car from the day I had my first Hot Wheels.
Absolutely.
Picturing the sound, the leather seats inside, like
just dreaming about it. Like, I want this vehicle, I want this car one day, you know. And then you make it a reality for them, and it's It's amazing.
The other day I was doing a story, right? And as soon as I was doing the story, it was literally when I got here to Atlanta. As soon as I'm about to film, you just hit your horn. Filming, wow, that's good. You scared the shit out of me. What do you have for horns in this thing?
So horn blasters, man, and they're super cool. They took care of me, and I love them. Honestly, it's one of those things that, you know, people just are blown away by because it scares them. I mean, they're loud, they're crazy. We had ours, actually Southern Off-Road custom built a panel for me. It sits the compressor and everything up inside the bed, and then the horns are tucked underneath the bed as well and powder coated the same body color. So it's very flush, very clean, and just a fantastic job. You can't even really tell that they're in there until you get underneath.
Dude, that's crazy. They're loud.
They're super loud.
Super loud. Have you done anything to the exhaust, talking about loudness?
I actually haven't. We worked on doing an MBRP Black Edition, and it wouldn't work with the way my train horns were run. So we just haven't, you know, we're kind of mulling over a little secret project of doing, you know, an engine, and doing so, you know, we would definitely maybe do some.
LS3?
Maybe an LS3, I don't know, you know.
Nice. That would be really cool. So talking about the engine, obviously you still have a stock Tacoma engine in this thing. How is it that you're able to move these massive tires? It's got to be down to the gears. What gear ratio are you
5/3/8. It's all about the gears. And I tell everyone, you'd be very surprised what gears can do. It's like the backbone of turning those tires. It's the main component. You know, you can have all the engine you want and a bad gear ratio, and it's not going to equate.
Dude, I remember when you didn't have these big tires. What were you rocking? I think they were 35s? No.
I had 38s, I had 40s, I've had 35s.
Well, there was one time where I did your first video shoot, and I saw you spinning them, and that's when I was like, gears is where it's at.
Yeah, I had 529s on a 35, and I could roast those tires.
You could roast those tires. I saw that.
Roast it.
That was crazy with that engine.
It's all about the gears.
It's all about the gears. I think we need to make a shirt that says that. So, what were some of the biggest challenges when building this truck? I know that you saw it in your head a certain way. You told Adam you wanted it a certain way. Did he call you back saying like, dude, this is kind of hard, we got to go around this? What was the biggest challenge in building this truck?
You know, one of the best things that I can say about Southern Off-Road is working with Adam and Ross. I legitimately would say, Adam, this is a goal I want to achieve. How do I achieve it? Adam goes, I'll get back to you. So they brainstorm, they think about it, and they go, this is what we found. This is the best option. This is going to be awesome. And it was. You know, it's like anything that I can think of, they create it, and they figure out the best way to do it. And it's just, you don't find that every day. You know, you can't just go to a random shop and they're going to do that for you. These guys are on point and they know what they're doing. They've been in business for 30 years. I mean, just killing it. They are great, man.
So let's go to the big question here. How much is this truck where it is right now? Because I know you've done a lot of things. This thing has gone from it being a stock Tacoma to where it is now. And you've put in like suspension system, taking it out, this and that. Where it is now, how much would you say is the total cost?
And Adam probably loves me for this because I've swapped suspensions and wheels and tires umpteen times, but I don't know, I'd say we probably have over 100 grand in this thing. Just
over 100 grand on top of what the truck is worth.
Yeah, of course. Just with every lift, wheel, tire, you know, all the custom work we've done, the paint, you know, and the small stuff. Remember all the bumpers, the rock lights, you know, the horns, the system, the headlights, the grills, you know, all the just miscellaneous stuff, all the paint work and powdering and you name it, man. It's
slowly adds up.
It's just crazy. Like I would be probably scared. I'd have a book somewhere of every receipt and everything I've done with it, and it's probably like sickening. I'm sure.
Now, how long did it take you to build it to where it is today from the day you bought it? 100% stock to where it is now.
The day I drove it off the lot, I took it right to a four-wheel drive shop to lift it. And it had 20 miles on it. That was the first lift I put on it. So, and I've got, you know, pictures that, you know, timeline, every kind of shift we've done and everything. And it's probably been, I got it in I think it was April of 2016, and it's been on since then. It's not that I'm never satisfied, it's just that you keep wanting to improve.
Nice, so it's been about 4 years.
Yeah, roughly.
And talking about the miles, how many miles does it have?
I have like 28,000 miles on it.
28,000 miles,
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Because I really actually drove it as my daily in the beginning. And then over the course of the past 2 years, it you know, sits in the garage, and then we bring it out for events solely. So it's more just an extra vehicle that we have for those events.
What's next for this Tacoma? What are you planning on doing? I know you're working on another truck. Tell me a little bit about what's next.
Honestly, I think we've really been diving into the LS3. It's a little more in depth than we thought. There's a lot to it. It's not just going, let's buy an engine and throw it in there. Harnesses and ECUs and other things that are, you know, have to be done to where the truck can still drive and function and not have any issues, but it's a chain reaction, because once we do the engine, we need bigger axles. You know, we got to support that power. We have to, you know, continue with it. And honestly, I think it's something that we'll just keep forever. I don't know if we'll sell it. I think it'll be something that, you know, as long as I can hold on to it. You know, growing up, your parents going, I had this muscle car when I was in high school, or I had, you know, some cool classic car, and I wish I would have never gotten rid of it. You know, it's kind of like the same thing. They put everything into it. They put their heart and soul into it, and they loved it. They met their wife in it. They, you know,
It's got so much stories. It's like
does.
I say, if my second gen could speak, I would be in trouble.
It does. It does. It's true. It's so true, man. And, you know, it's just one of those things that I don't know if I could give it up. I feel like the benefit of what it does for people and the money that it raises just isn't worth me giving it up. It's not worth me getting the money for it.
All right, guys, that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this build walk around. If you did, make sure to leave a like on this video. If you guys haven't already subscribed, make sure to do so. And Billy, where can they, you know, find out more about this ride?
On my Instagram, the Green Reaper 3, and then I've got my Facebook, which is Billy Ryan, and that's really it, man. We've got everything kind of listed there, and all my sponsors and everybody we've worked with on this build.
Awesome, man. See you guys in the next video.